What's up, everyone? My name is Nick Metcalf, host of the American Power Hour. I'm here today joined by my co-host, Mackenzie. She is all tucked in the corner there. You'll love to see that. She has her gingerbread man. It's one of her favorite toys at the moment. It's one of those tough toys. I think they're, what are they called? Kong? Kong. I think it's a Kong toy. It's a very, very durable. Let me grab it for you guys. If there's any dog people out there. If there's any dog people out there and your dog chews up like regular stuffed animals, try one of these, dude. Kong. Got the little giblets in there. And it also has a squeak function. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. And like I said, very tough, very durable, and great design as well. You know, a lot of problems with these dog toys is, they'll have like threads hanging off. Obviously, the dog's just going to rip it apart. But this right here is a toy that clearly Mackenzie loves this toy. As you can see, she is locked in. She is locked in and ready to get this toy. So let's give it to Mackenzie. Here you go, buddy. You got your little gingerbread man? There you go. Oh, man. What's up, Hunter? How you doing today? Welcome to the show. Today we'll be talking about, let's discuss this real quick, huh? Pretty cool. That's me and Mackenzie playing hockey on a cake with people in the background. That is, they're standing on bleachers made out of Twizzlers. Sign's looking great. Thank you, Christy. Thank you. And then this one back here, it says trying shit across America. That's my other show. We got American Power Hour and Trying Shit Across America. If you didn't know, I do food reviews. There are some people who watch this who didn't even know about that, which is pretty cool, I will say. We'll be talking a little bit about Iran today. I also walked today. Christy said just made some fruit salad to try to forget how annoyed I am with my trash company. Your trash company, what'd they do? What'd they do now? What did they do now? So let's talk NFL real quick. Obviously, I'm wearing a Josh Allen jersey, in case you didn't know. The GOAT in the NFL currently. I can't think of another quarterback in the NFL that you would rather have on your team to start a team with than Josh Allen. I mean, who else is out there? Trevor Lawrence? Come on. Come on, don't be silly. So yeah, the NFL playoffs continue this weekend. I didn't cover it last weekend because, well, I kind of did. I just told you guys the Bills were going to go to Jacksonville, beat Jacksonville. They'll go to Denver, beat Denver. And that's, and I also said that they'll go to New England and beat New England. Those are the 3 playoff games that they'll win to go to the Super Bowl. It's all part of the script, if you will. The Buffalo Bills are playing this weekend at 4:30, I believe, on Saturday. Saturday game. I'll be in Florida this Friday, I believe. We're heading to Florida to go visit some family. Christy said last week a man told me recycling was on Wednesdays, not Thursdays, and to put my old cans out for pickup since they gave me new ones. He lied. Pickup is tomorrow, and he didn't put in for the cans to be picked up. All lies. Damn, that's An employee. Oof. That's annoying. That's really annoying. Hunter said, how many miles are on your truck from all your travels? A lot. There's a lot, dude. I think, I don't even know, man. I mean, I used the truck before I started doing the food reviews, so there's miles on it from that, but it's getting up there. The truck is getting up there for sure. Can you like refinance? Is that a thing? Can you like refinance if there's more miles on your truck than you had anticipated there was going to be? It's a great question. That's a great question to ask. Yeah, so I was doing some research on Iran, and it seems like this is the vibe I'm getting. I've been talking a little bit about Greenland, a little bit about Venezuela recently, and, I take a pretty, like, middle of the road approach to a lot of things. And I don't think that works in this space. I'm going to be honest. It seems like the people who are the biggest in the political sphere are the people who just come right out and say, this 100% happened this way, and this is what you should think. I really don't subscribe to that model, and it's both sides. It really is both sides. We talked about, what was it? It was Greenland. And I had mentioned, if the people of Greenland vote for, a purchase or something like that, and it works out for all parties involved, and it's a win-win situation, then who would be against that? And there were a bunch of people, very upset with that take. And those people mainly would say things like, Orange Man is racist and greedy and evil, and he is Hitler, and therefore trying to acquire Greenland is wrong. That's very clearly coming from a certain bias, a certain predetermined outlook on things. We also talked about the ICE agent last week, or on Monday. We talked about the ICE agents. And I had mentioned that, the ICE agent made poor, bad decisions that day. So did the woman who tragically was shot. Both parties involved made poor decisions that day. And there were people upset with that take, and they said, "Oh no, she didn't do anything wrong that day. There should be more people doing what she did that day." And it's like, really? More people should be doing what she did that day? I don't know if that's the smartest move. Just looking at things from the viewpoint of, what, let's try to get this loaded up here. There's a video here, a new video of ICE agents. I don't know if you guys saw this. Hunter said there's a difference between going in with guns and bombs or just making huge cash offers. No one is being killed or hurt. Yeah. Like I said, that it seems to be like a pretty middle of the road take on things. And it seems like some people like despise Donald Trump, and therefore anything he tries to do, they'll go against that. And he could literally cure cancer, and there would be people super upset about the way that he did it. And this is not a defense of Donald Trump, but this is more just to point out that there are biases on both sides. And the ICE agents, let's pull up this video here. Let's get this video pulled up. Let me see if I can't find it real quick. There was a video of ICE agents trying to get into a Target. Let me just do this real quick. Target ICE. And we'll watch this video together. Here it is right here. Okay. So I mean, this is a 7-second long clip. Let me try to find one that's a little bit longer here. Here we go. Okay. This one's 2 minutes long. We're going to watch this one together. And I want to make sure that you guys have audio.
I'm not doing all right. I'm not doing all right. Back up. Yo. See that? Yo, they're recording. They're here. What y'all doing? Yo, back up. You good? Oh, absolutely. Oh, back up. I'm off here. Back up. Hey, that. Do your shot. Hey, that's not a nice guy. I don't know, fuck. Fuck you and fuck all y'all. What you gonna do? Hey, you guys American citizens? Fuck you. Huh? None of your business. That's what. Fuck you. All right. See that? Blocking traffic. Blocking traffic. Look at that. Bunch of y'all right there. Fuck every single one of y'all. Look at that. Just gonna get a pic. Go ahead, take a pic right there. Get one of this guy here. Right. Appreciate that. Hey, don't touch him. Don't touch him. What are you doing? Come on. Yo. Yeah, you worse. Look at that. Look at that. Look, grab me. Grab me. Yo, let him go.
Yeah. So that didn't look good, and it's tough to have to see videos like this. Grim Jong-un, how you doing today? Said a little bit. Yeah, I just ghettoed it and just stuck my thing up to the speaker on the TV. Yeah, so my biggest question when I saw this video is, what were the ICE officers doing there? What was the purpose of them going into Target? And so I looked at the report of what happened there, and they arrested 2 civilians. They arrested 2 American citizens, and they didn't arrest anyone else. I don't know what they were doing going into the Target for, is what I'm saying, because their defense of this is that the Target employee was impeding officers from doing their job. What was their job that day? What were they going into Target to do? And like I said, if a Target employee was impeding their job and all they did there was arrest 2 citizens, it doesn't seem to make much sense to me. If they had gone into the Target and they had a actual target in the Target, that would seem to make more sense for the defense of impeding law enforcement officers, right? But it doesn't appear from the information that we have that they were there to actually do anything. So that raises a big red flag to me. Christy said then he would actually be in the way if they had a task. Yes, exactly. That's kind of what I'm seeing here, is that there's people defending this ICE officer and saying, this Target employee was impeding on federal agents from doing their job. I then ask, what was their job that day? Because if they didn't arrest any illegals in the Target, so what was he impeding on? It doesn't seem like that Target employee was impeding on federal agents from doing their job. I ask, what were they doing there? That defense would work if they had actually gone into the Target and arrested an illegal individual. But it doesn't appear that that's what happened. And so what were they doing there? Why why does it seem like they were aggressively trying to go into the target? Were they trying to pick up some Gatorades or something? Because that doesn't seem to be like a Target employee was impeding on federal agents doing their job. Maybe they were just trying to get some Gatorades or something. And the dude was just filming them, you know? Obviously, the Target employee was not being a very nice person, but at the same time, those ICE agents, the way in which they were acting, the aggressiveness in which they were acting, instantly made me think, oh, they must have an important job that's in this Target. And it doesn't appear that they had an important job in the Target. It appears that they were just being extremely aggressive, you know? And that doesn't seem to be the right approach, especially with everything that's going on with these ICE agents. The last thing you want to do is start something if you're an ICE agent. It doesn't look good. It's not a good optic. Grim Jong-un said, my YouTube shorts keep showing clips of ICE agents and they never answer if they have warrants or what they're doing. Yeah, and that's kind of a real big issue with all of this is those ICE agents that were going into the Target, what were they doing there? It doesn't seem like they had a detailed operation going on. It seems more like they're walking around and being like, do you have your papers? Do you have your papers? You know, like, I'm going to walk very aggressively towards you. Don't get in my way. Like, do you have your paper? So it's a bad look for the ICE agent. It's a horrible look for the administration, I think. And at the end of the day, they're not even deporting. It's not like they came. This administration came in saying that they were going to deport, millions of people. It hasn't happened. The only thing that has happened is that there's been disgusting videos going around the internet creating more division among the people. Barack Obama deported more people than Trump has. We didn't get much about, we didn't see these types of videos that we're seeing now. Christy said, once again, seeing both sides, obviously, number one, why are they there? But also, number two, why would you just repeatedly jump in front of an officer if not to instigate something and get a reaction while actively being on the clock at work? 100%. Christy said, not saying he's wrong for being upset, but it just confuses me. 100%, yeah. That it gets to the next portion of this, which is like, if you're that Target employee, like, let them go in and buy their Gatorades or whatever the hell that they're doing there. If I'm somebody who sees ICE agents going into a Walmart, I'm just going to let them go into the Walmart, dude. Like, maybe they're just picking up some Gatorades or something. I don't know what was going on that day. It doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like any of this is very organized. That's the biggest thing is when you're dealing with such a nuanced, emotional, humanitarian issue like this, I think it needs to be dealt with intent. That seems to me to be the best option out of all of this. I don't know what the intent was of those officers there that day. And obviously the intent of that Target employee was to get in front of the officer, which isn't an issue if the officer isn't there to do a specific job, legally speaking. At the end of the day, they, like I said, in that Target run that the ICE officers did, they just arrested 2 U.S. citizens. Detained 2 U.S. citizens. I thought the job of ICE was to deport people who weren't U.S. citizens. So if their job was to get Gatorades, I don't know if that defense will hold up of, oh, this Target employee was just impeding, ICE agents from doing their job. I don't know if that would hold up because it doesn't seem like their job was inside of that Target. It's very disturbing, to watch all these videos going on. And yeah, that was really the latest on the ICE situation. That was the biggest video over the past couple days here, where it raises questions on both sides. There's people who watched that video and said, "Oh, that Target employee threw a punch at the ICE officer." I didn't see that. I didn't see a clear punch. Did you guys see a clear punch? I mean, we can go back to it here. People are saying that they saw a punch at the 48-second mark from the Target employee.
What are you doing? Come on. Yo. Yeah, he works it. Look at that. Look at that. Look, they're grabbing him. Look at grabbing him. Yo, let go.
So I watched that, and I don't know if I see I don't think I see a punch being thrown, It seemed like the ICE officer was trying to get in the door, and the kid tried to get in front of him to have a better recording angle of his phone. And it seems like they kind of both came together at the same time. So again, another situation where certain people see it a certain way, and other, like I said, there's people who are like, clearly the Target employee punched the ICE officer. And it's like, what do you mean clearly? When you say clearly, do you mean like it's obvious? Because I don't think it's obvious. Like, it doesn't seem obvious. There's going to be probably more footage if the ICE officer had like a body camera on him. Then it would prove, okay, if you're saying that person punched you or started it or instigated it, then the body cam will show that. And if they're not wearing body cams, that's another situation itself. That's another, why aren't they wearing body cams? If we force our law enforcement to wear body cams, and these agents are law enforcement, they should also be forced to wear body cams. So it's real tough to make that defense for the ICE agent of saying, oh, definitely the dude tried to punch him, and I don't know. It's not clear to me. So, so that's my piece on like the ICE stuff, and like I said, I talked about this the other day, and people were. There's people who are attempting to put me into like a box in their own heads, like when I say that when with Renee Good, rest in peace, when she was killed by the ICE agent, and I said, hey, both parties made poor decisions this day. There's people who attempt to put you into a box because they can't understand that. They can't understand that both parties involved made poor decisions that day. Kim Jong-un said both kind of suck at de-escalation. I'm a moron for wanting to talk things through. Am I a moron for wanting to talk things through? Yeah, exactly. It seems like I said, the way in which both the ICE agent and the Target employee in that video, they were both very aggressive towards each other from the very start of it. And that's due to both sides. Because like I said in my last video, there were people telling people in the comments like, you should go do what Renee Good did, and you should go use your vehicle to block federal agents, and it now is the time to resist. We must take out these ICE agents. And it's like, that might not be the best approach to things. Violence. So, yeah, it's a tough situation. Let's move on here to Iran, because this is another situation where I'm doing my research on these things. And on one hand, you have people telling us that there's, tens of thousands of protesters being murdered in Iran for protesting against the current regime. And then you have other people saying that there's only like a couple hundred people protesters who have died. It's like, where are we getting this information from? Where are these numbers coming from? There's no internet in Iran. They got rid of the internet, dude. I believe Elon Musk tried to send Starlink over there. His satellite Wi-Fi invention, I guess you could say. And I believe the government took it. I'm pretty sure the government took it, and they're destroying internet access in Iran. So these numbers that we're getting of protesters being killed, we don't know what the number is. Excuse me. A lot of people, I think CBS reported it was like tens of thousands. Other reports are like, oh, there's a couple hundred. And there's people who are taking these numbers and they're telling you how to think based on these numbers, when in reality, we can't base anything on those numbers because we don't know if the numbers are real. We don't know if these numbers are real. So it's a strange situation, and it is totally different from Venezuela. Venezuela is our neighbor right there. Iran is on the other side of the world. Very close to Israel, right? So as far as like regime change goes, or like, I don't think a regime change in Iran will come without boots on the ground war. Because as far as we know right now, there's no plan for regime change in Iran other than bombing, and other than a boots on the ground type of action. So people have to think this, is this the same as Venezuela? I don't think so. I think we have a lot less information on what's going on in Iran. And like I said, what happened in Venezuela, it was quick, it was easy, it was cheap, and it happened. We didn't have to spend years and trillions of dollars on a war, versus Iran, where potentially that could be the issue, right? So, like I said, two different situations, and either way, it doesn't seem like it seems like World War III is like imminent at this point. It's a little scary to think about, but is what it is, dude. We're just a bunch of peasants. We're just a bunch of regular people who really don't know much about anything other than what they tell us to think. So, yeah. What is today? Today's Wednesday, January 14th. I will not be here Friday. Florida. I'll be in Florida, and then I think coming back Monday. So, driving back here Monday. So I will not be here on Monday for the show. I'm sure there'll be a bunch of news and stuff that happens. But yeah, I mean, that's basically everything I had. Dude, I have to use the baño so bad. I should have went before I started. We've only been on for a half hour, so let me do this real quick, and I'll be right back, all right? The ICE agents got me. That's funny, Kim Jong Un. Oh man. So yeah, what else has happened? When the government shut down a few months ago, they reopened the government with this bill, and snuck into this bill is making hemp illegal again. That was the bill to reopen the government, was to make hemp illegal, and it it seems like the alcohol industry is taking a real big hit over the past 10 years. And hemp being federally legalized, I believe it was in 2018, maybe 2019. It allowed for basically the legalization of hemp products and hemp marijuana, and alcohol sales plummeted. Alcohol sales have gone down. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but when you sneak something into a bill that is supposed to be for reopening your government, and you sneak in there, let's make hemp illegal again. That seems to be something that came from the alcohol lobbies, you know. So it's kind of sad when you think about it, because the people are taking pharmaceutical drugs for something that a plant could also do similar things. And the government has decided that we don't like the plants, we prefer pharmaceuticals and alcohol too, because alcohol lobbyists give us money. That's just been something that's been on my mind a little bit here. Marijuana and hemp. I used to be a part of a company called Buffalo Hemp Co. I was helping with the marketing of that, and they would make hemp plastics. It was a very cool idea. It was something that at the time when we were working on it, it was like 2015, I think, something like that. And hemp wasn't federally legalized yet. So it was very tough. But I literally had flower pots, that were made out of hemp plastic. So there's many uses for hemp and marijuana that, like, there's way more uses for that than there is for alcohol. It seems. It seems like the government really wants. And have you guys seen all these stories recently that the mainstream media is pushing? Like, oh, this new sickness coming from marijuana smokers. They don't know what it is. It's a new sickness, and people are violently vomiting, violently throwing up from marijuana. Really, throwing up from marijuana? That's news. Has anyone ever thrown up from alcohol? Huh. I wonder if that's a thing. Why aren't we getting all the stories from people throwing up from alcohol, and yet we're being spoon-fed all of this mainstream media bullshit about some people, when they abuse marijuana, they start to experience something where they throw up, and then if you stop using the marijuana, the throwing up goes away, the sickness goes away. So they're pushing this story like, if you smoke weed, you're going to become sick, you're going to throw up or something. It's like, dude, let's take a look at the alcohol industry. Let's take a look at that. Christy said pharmaceutical industry also quite mad. Oh yeah, pharmaceutical industry and the alcohol. Those are the big two players in this game. And of course they don't want a plant, something natural, that people can use to help themselves heal, help themselves sleep. Of course they don't want. Christy said, how dare you use this natural herb instead of our $500 pills? Exactly. Exactly. Why would you use a plant when you can make this thing made in a factory? You know? And let's not talk about all the side effects from pharmaceuticals. AJ Will said, literally me. That's funny. Yeah, so, it's, I've used marijuana before. I will say that. To this very day. I will say that as well. And it's not something that I abuse, it's something that I use to my advantage. It helps me sleep a little bit. God forbid, you know. It also helps me eat more, which is something that I enjoy. I enjoy eating more. So, a lot of people are like, "Oh man, I get the munchies and I eat too much." That's a positive for me. Christy said, "Still jealous of the Arizona tea." Yeah, that Arizona tea company. Like the tall Arizona cans. They used to always send me stuff, dude. Like I would go downstairs into the mailroom of the apartment building that I was living in, and there would just be like a giant box from Arizona there. I would have no idea. They wouldn't even contact me. I like gave them my address one time, and like for a year straight, they just kept sending me stuff. And this one time, they sent me it was like a little like Arizona cup, and it was like a bong. And I was like, "What? They just sent this to me?" And apparently, it's like a collectible. What's it called? A cupsy or something? It has like it looks like a cup, dude. It literally looks like a cup. Should I grab it real quick so I can show you guys? I'll show you guys real quick, just for educational purposes. Let me grab it. Yeah, so this is it right here. Arizona sent this to me, and it's literally a bong, dude. Let's open this up. This is a collectible. I'm pretty sure these are going for thousands of dollars on like eBay and stuff. Um, Puffco, yes, Puffco. Thank you, Christy. So this is what it looks like. If you just have this like in your, I don't understand like the purpose of it. Maybe, like I said, maybe it's supposed to be like in like a cup holder in your vehicle or something, which I do not, I do not endorse that. But it looks like a literal cup, dude, and it has like this straw. This is actually like, what did I try to use this one time or something? There's something going on in there. I don't know what it is. But yeah, this is where you put your flowers. You can put dandelions or whatever in there. And years old error. I think I did just. That was pretty gross. But yeah, this is where that's where you put your little dandelions. And then I can't believe that they sent this to me. I was like, damn. Does it seem like and then you could pop this open and then I don't know, maybe it goes in there and you put something in there, some water or something. Crazy. Shout out to Arizona for sending this to me. It's like just a cool collectible, you know? But yeah, so that's something, I'll put that right there. Shout out to Arizona, man. I can probably guarantee you that if you live in Connecticut at that building, there's probably still Arizona packages down there, to be honest. And if I had to guess, the security guard that worked there when I was there, he probably just grabs them because he knows I'm not there anymore. So, Arizona, if you're watching this, I moved. Yeah, so that kind of sucks with the whole hemp thing because I believe it'll be illegal. Hemp will be illegal nationally, I believe, in at the end of this year. So it's kind of sucks, but is what it is. That like places, I'm in North Carolina right now, and after that passed, this banning of the hemp, you'll no longer be able to buy marijuana, hemp products, even like hemp gummies. Like it's all gonna go away. That way, people can get more addicted to pharmaceutical drugs, or they'll turn to alcohol, and that's really what the government wants. Christy said, Arizona marketing guy just watched an entire political stream for a surprise shout out. That's funny. That's crazy. um, yeah, so like I said, kind of sucks, but it is what it is. That's the government for you, right? That's the government for you. So these little things back here are pretty cool. I think I want to get something else going, an addition to this. Maybe like a American Power Hour neon light of some sort potentially. We'll have to do some digging and see what we can come up with. The Sabres play tonight, the Buffalo Sabres. I don't know if anybody here follows the NHL, but the Buffalo Sabres have been really good the past month or so. They were in the basement of the NFL, or NHL, I'm sorry. They were in the basement of the NHL. Season was over, dude. People were like, this is it. Like, season's cooked. And then all of a sudden they win, what is it? What was it? 12 straight games, 11 straight games. They lost last night or 2 nights ago, but they're playing tonight and probably going to go on another run. Zeke Weave said, let's go Buffalo. Yeah, Bills and Sabres, man. And what else do we have? The Bandits, the Buffalo Bandits. 10 straight, said Zeke Weave. Thank you. 10 straight. We dropped that one to Christopher Columbus and his Blue Jackets. And then, yeah, 1-1, lost one. So we got to go on another run here. That's the moral of the story. Yeah, have that in frame. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so do you guys have any cool plans for the weekend? Because like I said, I won't be streaming here Friday. We are doing good on the American Power Hour YouTube and on the Facebook. And then also we're on Rumble as well, just in case. Just in case, dude. You never know what could happen. Christy said, my son's 5th birthday is Friday. Hey, happy birthday. So we're taking him to the movies for the first time. That sounds fun. What movie are you're gonna see? I really wanted to go see that SpongeBob movie. I was telling Megan, my fiance, I was like, we gotta have kids, so I have an excuse to go watch these children's movies. The new SpongeBob one looks awesome. I don't have food today because I bought a family pack of chicken breast that needs to be cooked today. There's 5 or 6 breasts in there, and we leave on Friday. So I was going to get like KFC or Taco Bell or something, but I'm like, man, I got to make that chicken tonight, and I got to eat that chicken tonight. I've been so bad about hitting my protein. So bad, dude. Christy said it's some sort of kids movie about a superhero dog. That sounds pretty cool. Is it a Dave Pilkey? Is it a Dave Pilkey inspired film? Dave Pilkey was the guy when I was growing up. Captain Underpants. I don't know if anybody was a big Captain Underpants fan. Excuse me. I have a call today in a little bit here coming up. Zeke Weave said you should be soaking that chicken in Chevetta's. I have Chevetta's Italian dressing here. I wish I had their chicken marinade because that would be amazing. Shout out to Chevetta's, man. Buffalo. Christy said, I don't think so, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah, Dave Pilkey, he had that. I forgot what it was called, but hey, Alexa, what was Dave Pilkey's dog book series called?
David Pilkey's dog book series is called Dogman. It's a popular graphic novel series about a half-dog, half-human police officer.
Thank you. That'll be it.
You're welcome. Glad I could help you track down Dogman.
Dogman. Christy said, yeah, we've seen Dogman. Yeah, Dogman. I probably could have came up with that name. It turns out he's half dog, half ice officer, which is something. No, he's just a cop. Just a cop. Dogman. Dave Pilkey. He had some other bangers. Captain with a cat villain. Yeah, Dave Pilkey had some bangers back in the day. He did the little flipperama. Did you guys ever watch? Did you guys ever read the Captain Underpants books where it had like a comic book in the middle? It'd be like 4 pages, and you used to have to flip it back and forth real quick, and then it would almost look like it was a movie. It was pretty cool. That was really the extent of my reading. After Captain Underpants, I did Goosebumps for a bit. Try to get into the Harry Potter books. I think Order of the Phoenix was when I tapped out because I believe that the movie came out. The Harry Potter Order of the Phoenix movie came out, and I was like halfway through the book, and the book was like this thick, and I was like, I think I'm just going to watch the movie. I don't know if I read another book after that, dude, if I'm being honest. As far as like, an actual hardcover sit down on like a chaise lounge chair. That was the last time I did that. I would always get sleepy. Does anybody else get sleepy when you read? Like when I sit down and read like an actual book? That was my problem in school too, man. I would sit down to like read a textbook, and by like page 4, I would be just snoozing. Christy said, I think we'll do stuffed salmon tonight. Been on a huge salmon kick recently. That sounds good. What do you stuff it with? We have salmon in, I think, the freezer right now. I'm doing everything in my power to not have to freeze that family pack of chicken breast. I usually like to freeze products, meat products that are vacuum sealed. I tend to find that those freeze and come back to life much better than something that's packaged in the supermarket. Christy said, I love to read, LOL. Read 38 books a year, shooting for 52 this year. That's amazing. One a week. Christy said salmon is stuffed with a mixture of cream cheese, sauteed spinach, garlic, and lemon juice. That sounds bomb. Do you have any sides with that? Do you do like rice? A little bit of wild rice or something? Some black-eyed peas, no Fergie. Yeah, so let me just check something real quick here. Yeah, as far as the Iran stuff, man, it seems like Trump's going back and forth on what he's going to do. Like our own government doesn't know what they're going to do in Iran. So if you're listening to somebody who's telling you exactly what's going to happen with Iran, they probably are just throwing shit at the wall and hoping something sticks. Oh, thank you, Christy, for taking care of that. There was a little spam botter in the chat. Sometimes people come into the Twitch here and they promote random things. I don't know exactly what that person was promoting, but is what it is. So yeah, coming up here we have Florida. I'll probably be doing reviews in like the Daytona-ish area in Florida, and then probably like maybe some spots in Georgia too on the way down. Let me see. I can't bring up the map right now, but yeah, we'll definitely be doing a bunch of reviews in the Daytona and potentially like maybe Yulee. I kind of liked that Yulee area. What was it? Amelia Island's over there. I heard there's a lot of great food on Amelia Island. I heard that's where all the good food is in that area. Because last time I did a bunch of reviews in Yulee, I have a good friend that lives in Yulee. He's a dentist, dude. Shout out to my guy. And there was some good food in Yulee. A lot of people were saying, there's no good food in Yulee. I found good food, you know? A lot of people might be wondering, like, why are you talking about news, some politics stuff? Why are you even trying to get it? Dude, everything's political nowadays. I'll never forget doing a McDonald's review, a McDonald's food review. And there were a shit ton of comments saying like free Palestine. I can't believe that you're advocating for a Holocaust, another Holocaust. It's like this is just a food review, man. And then you try to like watch NBA and you have Doc Rivers and Steve Kerr telling you what to think about like the recent ICE raids. It's like, dude, I thought this was just like an NBA thing. I didn't know that everything's political nowadays. Everything is political. I think about some people who aren't political, like Guy Fieri. I think about sometimes, Guy Fieri. Like, it seems like we used to live in a time when you didn't have to say anything about anything. But now we live in a day and age where I do a food review on McDonald's and I'm being called like Hitler. And it's like, whoa, buddy, I'm just eating a Big Mac. What are you talking about? And then I had to go do research and then had to figure out what was going on. And it's like, holy crap, like politics isn't everything. I did a review at Oakmont Bakery in Oakmont, Pennsylvania. Great, large, big bakery. And they had their election cookies out. And there were no Kamala Harris cookies. They were all gone. The entire tray was gone, and they had the Donald Trump cookies sitting there. So I'm like, all right, fuck it, I'll grab one. And dude, wow, was that seemingly? I guess it was a mistake, because people were instantly like, oh, you're voting for Trump because you're eating a Trump cookie. It's like, dude, what? What are you talking about, man? Everything revolves around what's going on in the world, unfortunately. And I'm just at that age now, I'm 31, and I'm starting to realize, like, man, there's a lot of shit going on in the world, and I want to have kids one day here coming up, hopefully. And, I think it's important to speak about things when you can. And like I said before, there's stuff like this Iran situation. We don't know what the hell's going on over there. And I'll always be honest with you guys. in my views. I hold a very middle of the road view for the majority of things. So we're closing in here on an hour. Closing in. How has it been an hour already? That's kind of crazy. Christy said Verizon is having major outages, apparently. My phone is on SOS. Oh, that's weird. That is weird. Maybe the government's getting involved. No, I don't know. Could just be Verizon. What do we have here? We have Spectrum, and my Wi-Fi crashed. What was it, Friday last week when we were doing The Chauffeur. Let me plug The Chauffeur real quick. If you guys haven't seen the movie that I'm in, it's on YouTube right now called The Chauffeur. It's a horror movie. Very violent, gory, gruesome, brutal. Dave, what's up, Dave? Verizon, all good by me. Let's go. Dave is in the chat. How you doing today, Dave? Today's Wednesday. Christy said Google says about 180,000 people are reporting outages. I wonder if something bigger is going on. Could be sunspots. Those sunspots will get us. Doing pretty good, Dave. Appreciate it. Doing pretty good. We covered, in case you missed it, we covered the latest ICE video of them aggressively going into a target for seemingly no reason other than maybe getting some goldfish or some pretzels. Christy Coulter said it's those sun flares that will take out all technology. That's what I've been hearing, the sun flares. The sun flares are coming. So yeah, I think we're going to wrap it up here. Like I said, I have a call coming up with a friend who is starting a business, and I'm a marketing guy. I know marketing. I've been doing marketing for 15 years. The first 10 were for other businesses. Have a great trip to Florida. Thank you, Christy. So yeah, we're going to wrap it up here. Like I said, I have to hop on that call. Always exciting when a friend is starting a business. I'm excited for him and proud as well. So, I'm going to get to that. Mackenzie, you want to say goodbye, buddy? She is snoozing. She is out like a lamp. All right, guys. Thanks so much for being here. Shout out to you, Dave. Thank you. Shout out to Christy. Shout out to Grim Jong-un. Shout out to AJ Will and Hunter. Shout out to all you guys. So, and ladies, thank you. All right, I'll catch you guys on Wednesday. Because like I said, Friday I'll be traveling. Monday I'll be traveling. A bunch of great reviews coming your way. And I'll catch you guys in a week from today on Wednesday. Peace out.